At the Center for Social Impact, our goal is to really prepare and inspire students to solve big social problems.
Social impact would mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but it's going to be generally focused on how can I use the tools at my disposal to affect positive change in the world.
So what's changing right now is that students are really looking for careers that match their values. And so what we're trying to do as well is be able to allow students to match their values with the skills and perspectives that they need. So we put you in a position where you're working across disciplines to tackle issues that are frankly cross-sector. Because in order to solve real problems, you have to be able to think through different backgrounds and sectors.
Here is like such a progressive hub for progressive thought.
I am an MBA MSW candidate here at University of Michigan, Ross School of Business, and the School of Social Work. This idea that social work and business are separate practices is not necessarily the case. They influence and impact one another greatly.
Being at the University of Michigan, we want to think across disciplines. So to have policy and social work, urban planning, education, public health, working alongside with business to think through these problems is the way that we really train and prepare our students for the future.
Action-based learning is the crux of how someone like me learns. It's taking these high-level theories, these high-level practices, and putting it into practice in the real world. A great example of that would be, how do I apply the concepts of marketing to a community development project in Detroit?
By working with real issues, it changes the way that you learn, because knowing that what you're working on is actually affecting people's lives changes the type of work that you do.
We're going to play a little bit of baseball on the old Tiger Stadium field.
I'm from Detroit. I grew up on the east side of the city near Mackinac Drive, and the community that I grew up is one of the hardest hit areas of Detroit. It's heartbreaking to me when I go home to my old neighborhood and it doesn't look like it did before. It's important to me as someone who's come back to the city after going away for undergrad and coming back, that I still think about my neighborhood and ways to improve it.
I wonder, how were these aspects chosen?
I was looking for opportunities to engage in the city as a graduate student. I see it as a really wonderful opportunity for students from the University of Michigan to engage in Detroit in a meaningful and powerful way.
To be a successful leader, you have to understand the social impact of what you're doing, regardless of what industry you go in. If you're in a business, if you're in education, if you're in urban planning and policy, it doesn't matter. You have to understand what other people are doing and how they'll react to your work. And that's what we're doing at our Center for Social Impact, is preparing students to get into that world and succeed.
I'm literally going to start questioning the things that I was sure about, and I'm going to open up that can of worms and see what happens and put myself out there and talk to people about it. And that can be really scary, and it can sort of like rattle your foundation a little bit, but that's where growth happens, and that's where like real impact happens. And there are people here who want to have that conversation with you.
So the Center for Social Impact is really unique because it allows you to work on real social challenges while you get your education here. This is a really rich learning environment and opportunity for you to not only make yourself better for the future, but to also tackle real social challenges. And I'm glad we've had this opportunity to build this at a place like Michigan, where we're able to train and inspire this next generation of leaders while also creating a real social impact in the community.